Good. Right, let's get started. Horror game!
Woo! My favorite.
No, not mine.
Oh, really?
I used to play horror games. The last one I actually played all the way through was Silent Hill 2. It's because in college I actually got gun shy because I stared at one of those scary ghost pop-up pictures and freaked the fuck out of me. I'm sitting there staring at this picture of like a house with a window, and it says, you know, stare at the window because something's gonna walk by. I'm sitting there staring at it, and this big old fucking white face screams at me. I fall out of my chair backwards, hit my head on the space heater, and I'm like, oh my god!
Oh, I hate those. I can't stand them at all.
That's why I can't do too many horror games because that's all they are, just jump scares mostly.
I have a questionable philosophy about the horror genre. If you don't mind me sharing, I'll go ahead and...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, you're the guest.
Well, to me, horror is kind of like sex. I know.
That's a great beginning.
That's a great beginning.
No, that's gonna be the title of the video, okay? 1 million views in 5 seconds, guaranteed.
Guys, I'm trying to hear the nudity, okay?
No, they're quite similar because the tension keeps building up to a point where, you can't take it anymore. And, well, either way, there's screaming involved in the end, so. Like sex, if you want it, you go ahead and go out, get it, buy yourself a good game or anything like that, and just invite it, let the tension build up. You want it, so. But with the jump scares, it's like you're not expecting it, and so you just, out of nowhere, you kind of get raped,
Oh, wow.
Wow. Jump scares are like rape.
They are!
Hello, my name is Sigmund Freud, and I would like to have a word with you.
Okay.
Sigmund Freud jumps out of the closet and just like... Well, let's face it, there's always been a bit of a sexual connotation with these, with horror and video games especially. I mean, maybe not with stuff like Amnesia, that's purely just mental stuff. But I mean, I don't know, maybe more so Resident Evil has always had that kind of equated together, maybe Left 4 Dead, it's just...
Yeah, Silent Hill's got a lot of...
Yeah, exactly.
If I was James Sutherland in Silent Hill 2 and I knew that Pyramid Head was the manifestation of my own sexual frustration and self-loathing, I'd be on his helmet riding him through town screaming, I'm so happy! I'm so happy! I'd have to find like a phone booth to call a doctor because my erection would last longer than 4 hours.
But it's got to be like playing a violin, You can't do it so that it's just constantly scary, obvious crap all the time. It's got to really play you.
Foreplay.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's predictable.
But, so what do you guys think about, like, the decline of horror games? I mean, obviously...
Well, that would be the jock. That would be the unrefined lover. Then you've got Dead Space 3, which is just all flash and no bang, if that makes any sense.
It's just like going to a strip club.
Yeah, exactly. It's loud, noisy. You don't really remember any of it, but, you kind of knew it was there. And the first boss of Dead Space 3 is a giant drill. So, the analogy is pretty...
Melissa, you've definitely played quite a few horror games.
Oh, yeah. My love for horror didn't start till like 10, 11 years ago. And my brother, he was playing this video game called Ill Bleed, and this thing was pretty gory. And, well, I've always been a fan of gore. Always have and always will be. But the thing was that in this game, there was also these shock events, these jump scares. And it was something as lame as a phone ringing to, a dead body suddenly lunging towards you, violently screaming while shaking horribly. And it was terrifying, but for some odd reason, I loved it. It provided me with this sensation I never felt before, and I wanted more of it. So, here I am.
My problem is, I'm probably the reason the industry is dying because my first experience with a horror game was Luigi's Mansion.
Really?
Ghosts made me feel good, but, Well, it's got some genuinely creepy moments. Like, in the very first bit, there's a bit where, as a kid, I found it terrifying. You go up the stairs and these portraits start talking to you, and they've got sort of like, they look very realistic. They're not particularly Mario caricatured. And obviously the rest of the ghosts in the game, they all look, just like cartoony and silly. But stuff like that really got me. I was like, oh, these creepy portraits are telling me I'm going to die. And, now the lights have all gone out and the phone is ringing and nobody's in the house and what the hell's going on? So I think they may have been onto something there, but...
You have to be almost at the mercy of the environment.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The minute you get the upper hand on your environment, then the entire thing goes straight to hell. Silent Hill 2, played through it the first time, freaking beautiful, awesome game, scary as shit. And then I played through it a second time, and then I made the mistake of finding the chainsaw with the unlimited gasoline.
Oh.
Now, the minute you got that fucker, you're running through the town like fucking Ash from Evil Dead. Exactly. I'm going like, I am the Lord of the Harvest!
I hate to use the Luigi's Mansion analogy again, but I was literally just reading a review for Luigi's Mansion 2, and they said that it's missing something because the portrait ghosts aren't there. For those who don't know, in the first game, as you went into other rooms, sometimes there were ghosts of dead people who they'd inhabited that mansion in a previous life, and you really felt like you were intruding on their living space, and that's why they were hostile.
Right, it's setting in the atmosphere.
Exactly. You could almost sound sarcastic there because it's Mario, but exactly, it's the fact that it's the environment versus you. And in the new game, apparently, they've taken that away, and that suddenly takes away a whole level of creepiness and depth to it that it maybe had before. I mean, I know it's Luigi's Mansion, so you don't have to take it particularly seriously, but I feel, because I played Amnesia recently, one of the reasons I really love that game was because it's genuinely terrifying because you have nothing. You have absolutely nothing to defend yourself, and you are completely at the mercy of what's going on around you. And that's so much more interesting to play through, and so much creepier than if you going around, with, I don't know, 5 arms and 6 dozen chainsaws and it's just like...
That's exactly my problem with the horror genre today, because, back in the days, like in Resident Evil 1, you play as either Chris or Jill. If you play as Chris, you're equipped with a freaking knife, And every time you encounter a room with a zombie in it, you're all like, oh crap, and you turn around and leave the room, kind of get yourself ready before you go back in. But now it's like, automatically, you're not equipped with handgun anymore, you're equipped with like freaking AK-27 or something like that. And, now, I guess I heard in Resident Evil 6, the zombies shoot back.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Like, like, what the hell,
Resident Evil 6 is not about horror anymore. It's not even about the atmosphere. It's not even about the fucking zombies. It's all about the spectacle. Resident Evil 6 is essentially what would happen if Michael Bay and Suda51 got high and decided to make a video game. I mean, it features a scene where you ride a motorcycle into a helicopter in super slow motion.
Are you actually serious?
Yes, you can look it up on YouTube.
Explosions in the background.
Basically, you have to jump from rooftop to rooftop. And there's also a level where a fucking tank is following you through a mansion. And you have to... Yes, a tank.
Is this Metal Gear? What the hell?
Is it a zombie tank?
I was about to say, this sounds hilarious, but this doesn't sound scary at all.
I know, which is why I'm bringing this up.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
Megatron comes along.
Like I said, if this were a collaboration between Michael Bay and Suda51, then yes, the tank would have transformed into Megatron. And would have fired ponies on fire.
Now that would have been a jump scare.
Well, the thing is that modern day people, they think that if there is gore in the game, then it's immediately considered horror. But we have to keep in mind that many people, they have different views of what horror actually is. Because you got the new people who are into the Silent Hill series, so like, oh, Shattered Memories is the scariest game ever. Then you got me sitting there slouched out on my chair, everything's dark, and I'm nodding asleep.
There's a picture of Slender Man or that thing from Amnesia saying, oh, tell me more.
Oh, really? It's different, people have different views of what scares them. Like, I'm terrified of ghosts.
I'm terrified of babies.
See, there you go, right there.
Melissa, you need to add this like little avatar of a baby crawling up your arm every once in a while.
Yes, that's
or bursting out of your chest.
Yeah, not again.
Make it like Spaceballs. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
But it depends on who you are and what kind of genre of horror you enjoy. Because you got Resident Evil, who basically invented the word survival horror. And now, with Resident Evil 6, they now call it dramatic horror. Which is like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Wait, so dramatic horror, does that mean like everyone is voiced by Simon Callow? And
Dramatic horror is when like Hamlet takes up the skull and all of a sudden the skull bites him.
Yeah, something like that.
No, the Arnie from Last Action Hero would be EA's idea of scary Hamlet horror.
But yeah,
Baby.
The baby 3, they live. And there's gonna be baby 4, resurrection. And there's gonna be the baby versus the toddler. There's gonna be the baby versus the toddler 2. Then there's gonna be the toddlers.
Toddlers go to hell. Toddlers take Manhattan.
Toddlers back in the hood.
Dude, Shrek 3 is a terrible film, but you have seen the scene where, like, he has a nightmare about fatherhood and, like, just these babies start growing out of nowhere and just he's running down a corridor from this sea of babies that's coming after him. Just
He
this
has his
sea
own
of
Catherine
babies.
experience.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just sitting there thinking, yeah, that's a tasteful way to explain fatherhood to children. Just, you know, this guy running from this horrifying tidal wave of babies. It's fine.
It seems.
The corridor or something else, but we won't go into that.
Yes. Oh,
You're
yes.
Fleshy, but all right.
Imagine if for every single one he has to go into like a haunted orphanage or something. And,
Yeah.
and the child is like possessed Evil Dead style or The Exorcist, you know. Your mother sucks in hell, you know.
He goes in with like the mystery gang from Scooby-Doo. Like, I want to remain celibate for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and then he has to exorcise the devil out of it and keeps the baby, you know, as a trophy.
And that's where babies come from, kids.
This is what it means when we swing on your brother.